Vihiga Queens has ushered in a decade of excellence since its inception in 2014, leaving an indelible mark on the changing landscape of women's football. Over the years, the club has not only provided a steady stream of players for Kenya's national teams, but also produced talent playing their trade in the international stage and ensuring the future of football through dedicated talent development. The influence extends beyond the pitch, effecting crucial policy changes and of course demonstrating unmatched dominance both domestically and internationally. From the outset, Vihiga Queens has set the standard, amassing numerous titles and consistently exceeding expectations in both domestic and global arenas.
In 10 years, we actually the only team standing that has won an international championship, women championship from Kenya in terms of women football. So we are the only club. We won the inaugural CAF Women Champions League qualifiers, the CECAFA qualifiers. We beat so many big names like Commercial Bank of Ethiopia and Simba Queens. We have also gone back to the Women's Champions League qualifiers. We went there last year, 2020, as 2023 champions. So we went to Uganda. In 2021, we went all the way to CAF, the topmost in Africa for Women's Champions League.
The national teams, from senior to junior levels, have benefited immensely from the wealth of talent sourced from Vihiga Queens ranks.
We have, supplied to the national team of Kenya and Uganda a total of over 27 players to the national teams of Kenya and Uganda. We've had about 3 players being called up to the national team of Uganda, and the rest have been called up for the national team of Kenya in various categories, senior and junior teams. We were very happy when we saw our team, Harambee Starlets of Kenya, play, was it Cameroon or something of the sort, of Ghana, here in Nairobi at Nyayo Stadium. And when we took a tally, the number of players that were fielded in the starting 11, 8 players started that have risen through the ranks of Vihiga Queens, and then gotten transferred, to Asia, Europe, and even Tanzania. And about 4 others were on the bench. So in that call-up only, we had about 12 players from Vihiga Queens, 8 of which started.
Through community service, Vihiga Queens has played a pivotal role in sustaining women's football, offering both technical and moral support to various school football programs. This deliberate effort has ensured that the club has been a continuous pipeline, guiding talents to greater heights. It has not only produced talents that have made significant impact on the national teams, but has also seen players excel in domestic and international leagues.
Vihiga Queens played a huge part in growing my career, sharpened my skills and making it possible to be noticed with other clubs. Vihiga Queens has nurtured many talents in Kenya, including myself. Many more have come before and after, and they're still giving hopes to young talents out there to come and explore what they have.
It's a thing we started doing in 2014, 2015. We've paid for tuition for those young girls. We've paid for their personal effects. We've held their hands. In terms of their development at school, in terms of sports, we have supported those schools in, technically by coaching, seconding our coaches to go to those schools. We have taken their, material support like footballs and such things. Everyone knows Cynthia Shilwazo and Gentry Shikangwa's story. We have paid school fees for them. We have done personal effects, support for them. We came and took up a school called Madira Girls, where we started scouting players. This is around 2019, 2020 to about 2021. And we sent there our entire technical bench, from the head coach, assistant coach, and goalkeeping. And they were, other than scouting and taking them to the school, and the technical support every evening, coaching those players. Madira Girls High School rose all the way to, Premier League, Women Premier League. As a school, they went all the way to East African Games. They became national champions and went all the way to East African Games. They have donated so many players to the national team.
At the helm of this success, CEO Michael Senelo has led the club's administrative functions with a vision for change in women's football. By aligning with the United Nations SDGs and tailoring policies to the unique needs of women's football in partnership with Football Kenya Federation, Vihiga Queens has set a benchmark for others to follow.
Overall, in terms of transformation, the transformational agenda of the women, there is something called, mainstreaming of gender issues. I think it is one of the goals, the SDGs for the United Nations. Vihiga Queens has been at the forefront. If you talk about now trying to equate the women game to the men game, Vihiga Queens has been championing that. If you try to talk about social and community inclusion, Vihiga Queens has been championing that. If you try to talk about digital corporate responsibility, Vihiga Queens has been championing that. If you just talk about the general transformation of livelihoods, Vihiga Queens has a number of women that have gone through the club, that have had their lives transformed, and that have also transformed others.
As true legacy makers, Vihiga Queens look forward to even a brighter future, promising greater impact on football players, the community they hold dear, and setting new standards on the international stage. Long live Vihiga Queens, long live legacy makers.